As we prepare to vote for state leaders and in months, our nation's leader, Will Thomas, sat down with Congresswoman Liz Cheney and spoke about the upcoming elections, our state, and Joe Biden.
First of all, what's the feeling right now? Are you feeling pretty good going into next week?
I feel very good about where we are. Look forward very much to getting through the primary and then asking for everybody's vote again in the general election. We have a huge amount of work to do, both in terms of making sure that we get President Trump reelected, making sure that we keep the Senate. One of the things that has been so important for us here in Wyoming has been the deregulation that's gone on during the Trump administration, and the support for our fossil fuels, the support for our ag industry, and we've got to make sure that that continues. We've got to make sure that we continue to have leaders who understand that the fundamental decisions about land use and about our energy industry and about grazing, that those decisions are best made locally.
Talk to me about some of the things you've been proud of while in your term.
In my second term, I was elected to leadership in the House. I'm the Republican conference chair, so that's the third ranking person in Republican leadership. And that really means that I can give Wyoming a seat at the table on every issue we're facing. And we've been particularly focused, obviously, on COVID, on legislation to provide relief from COVID, on what the Congress can do to help encourage the development of vaccines and therapeutics. And so it's been really important to have that seat at the leadership table, and I've been pleased to be able to be in that spot. We're going to continue to make sure that money that's flowing through comes to Wyoming in the way that we need it most. I also have legislation I just introduced last week focused on telehealth. We've really seen during the pandemic people have been able to use telehealth, especially in our rural communities. And there are some changes that were made sort of on an emergency basis for the pandemic that we want to make permanent, so that people have the ability to sit in their homes if they can't get out to their physicians, so that Medicare will cover those payments, those treatments, and make sure that we're giving people as much access as possible to telehealth.
Can you talk to me kind of your thoughts on on Joe Biden naming Kamala Harris as his running mate?
Her views are so radical that just from a political standpoint, it was a surprising pick to me, because in order for Biden to win, he has to appeal to suburban voters in a lot of swing states around the country. He's got to appeal to people that, are not California liberals. He's already got the California liberal vote. So I don't see that Harris helps him. I think what he ended up having to do was basically placate that far left wing of the party. So I think in addition to the fact that she would be a terrible vice president policy-wise for the country, it tells us something about Joe Biden. It tells us that he's not really leading his party. He's not really in charge and sort of putting his mark on the party the way most nominees do. He's much more having to keep them happy. But I think by doing so, he made a pick that is going to be a mistake for him politically.
Cheney says when it comes to the pandemic, she's proud of how our state leaders have handled it. And as a country, we still need to be careful, but we are making progress and we will beat it.